Hello everyone, today's poem is 奇风鸡鸣, a qi wind from the Book of Songs. This poem is the first poem in the qi wind, so let's talk something about qi state. The character qi means something with equal height, something is same. So very likely it means the qi state is a very, very key state for the Zhou dynasty, and somehow it equals to the king of Zhou or equals to the Zhou dynasty. And we can find a lot of evidence from the history, and this state, the qi state, also proved themselves by their history. They are the last 7 states in the warrior states period, which means at the very beginning of the Zhou dynasty, there are some more than 1,000 states, big and small. Qi belongs to the big state, but it's not as big as it later to be. And along some 800 years, finally all those 1,000 states combined to only 7 states finally, and qi state is one of them. And qi state, the founder of the qi state, Jiang Taigong, is a legendary figure in the Chinese history. There is a very famous novel about him, 封神演义, and he has a lot of the folk stories about him, about Jiang Taigong. The most famous folk story is 姜太公钓鱼愿者上钩. So he fish with a straight fish hook for days and months, and everybody think Jiang Taigong is a idiot. But until one day, the King Wen find this weird people when he was fishing on the riverside, and finally they know each other, and the King Wen made him the general, the most important general. And in the 大雅 in the 大雅 大明 in the 大雅 poem, there is a sentence about Jiang Taigong. 为师赏赋实为阴阳. The 师 is the position of Jiang Taigong. So this means the general, the general of the military force. And 为实为阴阳. So at that time, he just like a great eagle fly up. So this is describing the status when the Jiang Taigong was on the battlefield, when they defeat the Yin dynasty. So this is the most important battle to the Zhou dynasty. By this victory, they defeated the previous Yin dynasty, and they founded the Zhou dynasty. And Jiang Taigong is the only person described in this poem in the Book of Songs about this battle. Of course, the other is the King Wen and the King Wu. They are the king, of course. They are the leader, right? They lead the whole army. But the other people, only the Jiang Taigong is the only other people written in this epic poem in 大雅 大明. The qi state is at the most east end of the Zhou dynasty, you can see the major states, they are along the Yellow River, while the Qi state was at the most east side of the country. And this also means they are at the most remote, one of the most remote state from the capital. Anyhow, they are a very, very key state for the Zhou dynasty. First thing first, the founder of the Qi state, Jiang Taigong, he has such a great effort and merit for the Zhou dynasty. The second importance for the Qi state is that the princess of the Qi is the most wanted girl for the Zhou people, for the royal family. And you can see some of the descriptions of the princess of Qi in the Book of Songs as well. So by the marriages between the Qi state and the royal family and other key states in the Zhou country, the Qi states remains a very, very important state through the Zhou dynasty. And finally, they became very, very strong, and they became the last 7 states in the warrior states period. So when we read the poems in the Qi wind, the first thing first, they are not the Zhou people. Their family name is Jiang. And the second thing is, this is one of the most remote state in the Zhou country, and thus they have something a little bit different from the central area, from the Zhou people, for sure. Now let's see this first poem in Qi wind. The title Jiming means cock crows. Well, anyhow, it's a term for the one time period of the day. So in the ancient China, a day was divided in 12 period, and one day start from the cock crows period. So the first period is Jiming, and you can see the 12 terms of the 12 periods. And finally, we use another term, 子丑寅卯. We'll use these 12 characters to refer to the 12 period. But keep in mind, in the time of the Book of Songs, Jiming means one of the time period in a day. Jiming is the starting point of a day for the ancient Chinese. So you should get up, dressed up, get cleaned, and prepared yourself for your daily work. So the time is 1 to 3 a.m. So it's hard for us to imagine the ancient Chinese get up so early. But anyhow, that's what the history book recorded and revealed. And that's also quite reasonable. The ancient Chinese has a little snap in the noontime because they get up such early, between 1 to 3 a.m. And these habits last till today. A lot of the Chinese today, we still used to have a snap for 1 or 1.5 hours in the noontime. So this is a habit from the very, very ancient history. There is a very popular TV series, so-called 长安十二时辰, which means a TV series about 24 hours a day. So something happened in one day, but for the ancient Chinese, that's 12 period, 十二时辰. A very popular TV series about something happened in one day in Tang Dynasty. So this poem with the title Cock Crows actually describes something very funny, as I perceive it. Something very funny happened in a sleeping room between a couple. A very, very funny thing. Let's see. 鸡鸡鸣矣，巢既盈矣. The cock crows already, and the state court was full already. So the term 巢, the original meaning means the early morning, but here it refers to the state court where the state officers working at. So the first sentence very likely is a dialogue from the wife to her husband. Hey, the cock crows, it's time to get up. And I believe the state court was full of your colleague. Hurry up. Okay, let's see the response from the husband. 非鸡则鸣，苍蝇之声. It's not the cock crows, it's the sound of flies. 苍蝇, flies. So it's a very, very funny dialogue between a couple in the very, very early morning. So it's the real cock crows or it's the real sound of the flies. Actually, it doesn't matter. It's just reflect the different feelings and the different characters. The wife is so worried about her husband that she wants him to be a very diligent, a very good officer. While the husband, maybe he hear the real voice of the flies, so he just denied, okay, let me sleep a little bit more. Okay, let's see the second paragraph. 东方明矣，朝既昌矣. The east is bright already, and the state court is busy already. The east is bright, which means the day is bright, the daybreak. So when we're referring to the 12th period, the period followed the cock crows is so-called as 平淡 and then 日出. 平淡 means the sun is on the horizon, is at the horizon. 日出 means the sun is above the horizon. So these two periods correspond to 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. So it's roughly 4 hours. And so that's, and the second sentence means the state court, the people in the state court is very busy. They start their work and they work for quite a while and make them very busy. So from here we can see their working time basically is around the daybreak. And when the day is bright, they are already work for quite a while and they are busy already. Okay, let's see the response from the lazy husband. So the husband replies as 非东方则明，月出之光. So that's not the light. The light is not from the east. It's the moonlight. So the husband want to sleep more. He don't want to get up and went to the state court and to his work. So he replied. So till now, who was talking the real fact? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. But it's so funny, right? The dialogue in the sleeping room between a couple. Okay, the third paragraph. 飞虫轰轰，甘与子同梦. The flies was flying with the sound hong hong, and I do really want to enjoy the sweet dream with you together. 甘与子同梦, I want to share the same dream with you, which means the wife is really very happy to have a good sleep, to share the same dream together, which means the wife do want her husband have a good sleep, to share the same dream with her, but she was with such a responsibility, and she was so afraid of that her husband would miss his duty in the state court. That's why she stayed alert and want to give her husband a time indication, to warn him to get up and get to the state court. Okay, let's see the last sentence. 惠且归矣，吾属于子赠. So this is also the word from the wife. So when you attend the meeting in the state court and finally you come back, do not contribute those blaming from your colleague, from your supervisors to me. So the character 属 is a long word, which means to contribute. So 吾属于子赠. 子赠 means someone hate her husband, someone blame her husband, because in the context, if the husband was late of his duty, his colleague, his supervisors would not happy with that, or maybe even blame him. So that's the term 子赠, means he was blamed, he was hated by someone. And so the whole sentence 吾属于子赠 means don't contribute those blamings from your colleague, from your supervisors to me, because I'm so diligent, I'm so alert to remind you it's the time of the cock crows. A very funny poem, right? So mostly this poem was treated as a blaming poem, which it first thing first blame the husband. He was so lazy, he didn't fulfill his duty. And the second blaming is to the wife, and it was explained that the wife want to attend his husband in her sleeping room. So that's also a blaming to the wife. Well, more and more people today think this poem is a praise poem to the wife. The wife is such diligent, and she cares her husband's duty so much, which means she cares the duty of the state, right? Because her husband is a key officer in the state court, and all those officers in the state court take care of the interests of the public, of the people. So finally, this poem turned out to be a praise to the wife. She cares the public interest, and she cares her husband as well. And also this reflected the hard work of those state officers. They started so early during the 1 a.m. till 3 p.m. and they very likely started their daily work at 3 a.m. in a day. It's so early, it's hard to imagine for today's people. Okay, that's for today. Bye-bye.